My name is Dan Hayes. I'm the theater coordinator, designer, and technical theater instructor here at PCC Sylvania. I started in 1994 here with the Performing Arts Center. The paint was literally drying. When it was built, it was called a forum theater. It's a space for people to have gathering opportunities, whether it's a lecture or a dance or a drama. The 5 facilities that we run here have about 800 events a year. When I started, we had 34 events that first year. So we've grown. You might say it's a destination space. A lot of people come to the PAC expecting to have some kind of a wow moment. And that's pretty exciting. A recent production we did was Hairspray.
I love you, Baltimore, every day like an open door.
It was unlike any that I had been involved with in my last 20 years here at PCC. We basically recast the performing arts programs as one large entity. The scope of the show was massive. So our budgets were quadrupled, the amount of people, we went from a normal cast of say 12 to 15, we had upwards of 65 people on stage. Personally, my job was redefined. I became a co-director. My colleague Julianne Johnson in the music program, she directed alongside me. It was both exciting and terrifying, and kind of rode that roller coaster for about 12 weeks together, and I think it was a very gratifying experience. So we're coming into the end of our academic year, and typically around this time is when my colleagues, the director, the producer, I as either a lighting designer or a scenic designer, and all of the others that we would call the leadership, we start talking about next season or the next 2 seasons. Right now we're talking about doing a comedy and also doing some kind of a classic, whether it's a Shakespeare or a restoration or something like that. And then in 2 years' time, we're talking about doing a musical. That's the beginning of the process. Once we decide a specific show, there's definitely a template, no matter what kind of show we run through. We have pre-production meetings. We talk about what the director's vision is based on the script. They may say, I'm going to do it as it's intended just on paper, or they may depart and do something totally kind of off the wall. As a designer, my job is then to interpret both those words in the script and what the director's vision is, and basically turn that into some kind of visual reality. And then it's just following through that 10, 12-week process of casting the show, rehearsing the show, as well as all of the tech is happening at the same time. And then we get towards opening night, and it's all time-based. If the show's not ready, it doesn't matter. That audience is coming on that first show. And we typically do 6 performances, and we tear it all down in about 3 hours. Probably 200 to 400 hours collectively put into one project, and it all goes away, poof, like that in about 3 hours. Theater forces you for a given amount of time to be somewhat of an expert on something, like the show we're doing right now, Glass Menagerie. Tennessee Williams, 1-act or short 2-act, that is very kind of quintessential Americana theater of the 1940s. It's become somewhat of we call it a chestnut, kind of a museum piece. So there's a lot of research that goes into trying to delve into this space that I'm sitting on. You know, why did Tennessee Williams write this? What are the factors that force these characters to do what they do? The actors are both some that are fresh out of, say, high school, others that probably have 10 years underneath their belt, and they're coming out for the show because they haven't done theater in 10 years, and this is something they want to do. And so we fold all that in for the 12 weeks we work on it, and then at the end of it, we all say goodbye, and hopefully we've learned something. And the most important part is, you know, what does the audience get out of this? You know, how do we affect them? Hopefully we entertain, as well as there's some kind of a nugget that has an opportunity to change them. You know, we're going to have 6 shows, and that gives us 6 opportunities to get it right. We look to have that perfect performance where we connect with the audience, where you hit that that sweet spot, so to speak. We don't always get it. In fact, the more I've done this, the rarer it feels that everything aligns. But you also see sweetness in the attempt, not just did I hit it or not.